Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Huntington Beach Chamber of Commerce would like to welcome all of our participating candidates and all of you, our guests, to this evening's public service event. My name is Bruce Berman, and I'm the chairman of the board of the Huntington Beach Chamber of Commerce. Before we begin, can we all stand and do the pledge? Face the flag, put your right hand over your heart if you're a service person. Please, if you wish to, you can salute. And begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'd like to remind everyone that tonight's forum will be business focused only. There are many other opportunities to where the candidates can give input on other issues. Due to the large pool of candidates participating tonight, out of respect for each of them and their time constraints, we ask that all attendees please honor the following rules for tonight's forum. Please turn off all your cell phones and any other electronic devices. I'm asking you to turn them off, not just silent them, because sometimes when they're silenced, they're not really and they go off, and we don't want to interrupt the candidate's train of thought. Please refrain from clapping during the taping. Please refrain from making remarks, whistling, or any other noises. We cannot have any balloon signs or anything else that will distract the candidates from answering their questions. And the rules of this venue regarding signs outside the building or in the room, we need to observe. I'd also like to point out, this is an educational event sponsored by the Chamber. The Chamber has no vested interest in any candidate, and we are not endorsing anybody. Please welcome now tonight's moderator and Chamber Board member, Sheikh Satur.
I feel special. I got the claps. Thank you guys very much. I'm Sheikh Satar. I'm the past chairman of the board for the Huntington Beach Chamber of Commerce. I'm on the executive board with my buddy Bruce over there. And we want to thank all the candidates for being here today. I know you guys are very busy and a lot of opportunities, and you chose to take a passion in caring for Huntington Beach. We truly appreciate every single one of you for taking the time today to make this impression and to talk to our business community. As you know, Huntington Beach is the voice of business in Huntington Beach. All right, so now that we got the rules, everybody understands the rules, we're good. The candidates actually, because of time, like we said, we have some certain time constraints. So right now, we're gonna ask each candidate to go ahead and do a 30-second intro in regard to their opening statement. These are actually their only statement. We don't have any closing statements because of time constraints. So we'll start off with Bobby, if you like. Bobby, would you like to go ahead and do your 30-second intro, sir? Don't worry, your time doesn't start yet.
It's working? Okay. Hi, I'm Bobby. Thanks to the Chamber and everybody for putting us on. I'd also like to thank the candidates. Every one of them that I've met tonight and over the past couple months have been very gracious, and I appreciate that. Can't hear me?
Chin mic.
How's this? Okay, cool. Thank you. So just wanted to say thank you to all the candidates. Every one of them that I've met and had a chance to talk to have been very gracious and willing to work, and I think everybody has the same focus, which is focusing on the city and what we need to do for it. I'm Bobby Britton. I've spent 33 years in the military, just retired, starting my own small businesses, and still looking for a day job because my businesses haven't made me a millionaire yet. So happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby, and that's Bobby Britton. Next up is going to be Brian Burley. Brian?
Thank you to the Chamber for coordinating this event. My name is Brian Burley, Huntington Beach business owner, elected to the Orange County Central Committee. I love Huntington Beach. I want to represent our community. People are really disappointed with the way our current city council is going, and I want to be an agent of change and help people in our community. I'm going to fight for public safety, fight for better infrastructure, and fight to make Huntington Beach as great as we can. So hope to have your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Next up, we have Pat Burns.
Hi, I'm Pat Burns, running for City Council. I've lived here for 29 years. I'm a retired policeman. I moved here 29 years ago to live with my family, raise my kids, my wife of 34 years. I have a bachelor's degree in accounting, a master's in public administration. I've been on a lot of boards and commissions and committees. I love this city, committed to its future. I care about it, and that's why I'm running with Casey, Gracie, and Tony over here. And we're a pack, and we're going to do a heck of a job when elected.
Thank you, Pat. Next up is Gina Clayton Tarver.
Hi, welcome. Sorry. Okay, thank you. Yes, I'm Gina Clayton Tarvin, and I'm a 31-year resident of the city of Huntington Beach. I have 2 sons that are attending public school here. I am a teacher in a nearby school district, and I am the president of the Ocean View School District Board of Trustees. It's been my honor to serve you as one of your elected officials here in Huntington Beach. I'm also the vice president of my family business, an LLC, out of Houston, Texas, and it's been my honor to serve you and hope to serve you on the city council. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Gina. Next up is going to be David Clifford.
Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is David Clifford. Thank you to the Chamber for putting this event on. Is that better? Can you hear me now? Yeah. Okay. I'm a 3rd generation Huntington Beach resident. Grew up in the south side of Huntington Beach, attended Eder, Sowers, and Edison High School. I'm also a 3rd generation business owner in the transportation industry, focusing on trucking, railroad, and container and port operations. I'm looking to bring common sense, business friendly solutions to City Hall. And thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Next up is Vera Fair.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having this forum tonight. My name is Vera Fair, and I'm number 18 on the ballot. I've lived in Huntington Beach for 17 years. I've worked in a Fortune 100 business for over 20 years, working in business, finance, supply chain, manufacturing, project management. And I want to be a voice for the people. And I want to just serve the city that I love so much, Huntington Beach. And so please give me the opportunity to serve our city. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Mr. Amory Hanson, and I am a historic choice. Please consider voting for me. I'm number 18 on the ballot. No, I'm number 16 on the ballot. Thank you.
Thank you, Amory. All right, next up is going to be Jill Hardy.
Hi, I'm Jill Hardy, and I'm running to return to the Huntington Beach City Council. I'm part of a 5th generation Huntington Beach family. My daughter's back to school night is tonight, so I'm missing that to be here with you, but thank you for the opportunity. And I get to attend my son's back to school night next week, so I have 2 children in town. I graduated from Edison, and I have taught at both Huntington Beach and Marina High Schools for the last 29 years. I have a BA in economics mathematics and a master's in economics. I know the Huntington Beach community, and I have the knowledge and experience to lead it.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jill. Next up is going to be Kenneth Inouye.
Hello, my name is Kenneth Inouye. I'm a 49-year resident of Huntington Beach. I've had a lifetime of leadership experience being the president of organizations at a national, state, county, and city level. I'm also was the owner of a successful CPA firm down in South County. I'm looking forward to providing leadership to this city as we go into the future. Thank you.
Wonderful. And just a reminder, chin on the microphone and speak into it loudly and clearly. Thank you so much. All right. Great job, Ken. Thank you. Next up is going to be Casey McKeon.
Hi, everyone. My name is Casey McKeon. I'm a 3rd generation HB resident, small business owner. I work in commercial real estate where I renovate shopping centers. What I've done in town is at Warner and Springdale, which is across from my family's business, the Beef Palace Butcher Shop. I've been on the Finance Commission twice and the Charter Commission, and my teammates Gracie Vandermark, Tony Strickland, and Pat Burns have been endorsed by the OCGOP, the Lincoln Club, the Young Republicans, and former mayors Dave Sullivan, Eric Peterson, and Lynn Sameta. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Billy O'Connell. I'm number 11 on the ballot. I would like to thank everybody for giving us this opportunity tonight to speak. I've lived in Huntington Beach for over 29 years. I'm a business owner. I've served on our city council, and I would like to serve again. When I was in our city council, we saw a need for homelessness. I started an organization many years ago to take homeless women and children off the streets. Since we've started, we've taken over 5,700 homeless women and children off the streets. We've helped over 1,800 women find work, and we've reunified over 300 children with their mothers. I would appreciate your vote and support. Number 11 on the ballot. Thank you.
Thank you, Billy. Next up is going to be Oscar Rodriguez.
Hi everyone, my name is Oscar Rodriguez. I'm a planning commissioner with the City of Huntington Beach. We oversee land use policy and its relationship to the general plan. I'm also an asset manager for an affordable housing nonprofit. I oversee a diverse sets of assets from real estate to money market accounts. And I'm looking forward to the discussions about how we can help businesses here in Huntington Beach. Retention is very important, and how we can help our local communities and uplift them. So thank you very much for the opportunity, and I look forward to engaging and discussing with everyone later this evening.
Thank you, Oscar. Next up is going to be Gabrielle Sammy.
Hello everyone, I'm Gabrielle Sammy. I'm also a third generation Huntington resident with a mom who was born and raised in Huntington Beach and a dad who immigrated from Iran. I have a deep, profound love for our country and the city that I grew up in. I'm a current student at OCC playing women's basketball there. I plan to really be a bridge between the community and the city council. I really want to have a voice for what the city residents want and what they feel the problems are for our community. I plan on doing that by upholding certain contractual obligations that I feel the city has not done properly, as well as supporting our businesses and social issues like homelessness and everything else along those lines.
Thank you, Gabrielle. Next up is going to be Tony Strickland.
Hi, my name is Tony Strickland. I'm son of a career military soldier, and I've had the privilege of serving both in the California State Assembly, the California State Senate, and the Huntington Beach Finance Commission. I believe I have the experience to deliver for Huntington Beach day one. I'm running with Gracie Vandermark, Casey McKeon, and Pat Burns. We have a plan together to solve the homeless problem, make public safety a top priority, cut the red tape, and roll out the red carpet for businesses in Huntington Beach. I'd be honored to have your vote. My name is Tony Strickland. I'm 13 on your ballot.
Thank you, Tony. Next up is going to be Gracie Vandermark.
My name is Gracie Vandermark, and I'm the mama bear on this team with Pat Burns, Tony McKeon, and Tony Strickland. I'm a 22-year resident of Huntington Beach, a business owner, finance commissioner. I was former finance commissioner, planning commissioner, as well as a member of the design review board. I want to give everyone my word right now that I will do everything in my power, and I'm fully committed to making our city safe for residents and businesses throughout our city.
Thank you, Gracie. And Mike Vogler.
They saved the best for last, I see. My name is Mike Vogler. I'm an attorney. I'm a former accountant. I spent 5 years in the Cal Guard as a judge advocate. I'm concerned about the homelessness and public safety, which has a direct detrimental impact on the businesses of this city. It is a critical issue we need to address. I'm troubled by the massive overdevelopment that's impacting our city. Though managed development keeps the city vibrant, and I want to do something about that. I want to represent the voice of the people of Huntington Beach, not special interest out of Sacramento or San Francisco, or career politicians out of Sacramento. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, candidates. Much appreciated. Wonderful. And Leanne's going to come and grab the mic. Thank you, Leanne. Leanne's one of our ambassadors. So thank you, Leanne, for being here today. She's our Vanna White today, ladies and gentlemen. With so much more. All right, great. So thank you, guys. Now we're going to throw some nice, easy starts. We're going to go ahead and do our paddles. So candidates, you have your paddles with you, correct? All right, so we're going to show what green means. Green is for yes, so if we can have all the candidates, this is our interactive session. Raise your paddle and show everyone green, please. Awesome. Also, we didn't test the candidates to see if any of them are colorblind, so this is our test right now. Perfect, all right. And then we're going to say no, so go ahead and show us no. Fantastic. All right. So you found our trend. We're going to start from my left, and we're going to go around. But for this one, you guys can all answer at the same time. So we want to get out of here, obviously, right? So perfect. Here's the first question. Is increased traffic an issue for Huntington Beach businesses? Yes or no? Perfect. Put them up one more time. Put them up high, guys. There we go. Fantastic. All right. Keep them up, guys. We are good. Thank you very much. All right. Moving on to the next question. Paddles down, please. Is lack of parking an issue for HB businesses? Keep them up. Wonderful, thank you. Go ahead and paddles down. And last last but not least, do you think Huntington Beach is business friendly? Keep your paddles up, please. I like you being creative there, Mike. Very good job. That's Mike's got an in between, guys. So if you don't know, in the middle means comme si comme ça, yes or no. Awesome. Keep them up. Good. All right. Paddles down. Thank you, guys. See, we want to start you off nice and easy. All right. Now we're going to go to our questions for the candidates. And candidates, a reminder: you have 1 full minute. 1 full minute to answer each question. I'm going to start over with Bobby, and then we're going to work our way around. When you are done, and please remember, very important for some of you, we couldn't hear you in the back. So please make sure you put your chin to the mic and talk into the microphone loudly and clearly. Okay? Thank you. Perfect. All right. Now, first question, and this is to you, Bobby. And please, if you need me to repeat the question, I'm more than happy to do that. So if you need to, I'm going to read it out loud for everyone. And if you need me to repeat it, please ask for me to repeat it, okay? First question is, what are the top 3 challenges for businesses in Huntington Beach? So let me read that again. What are the top 3 challenges for businesses in Huntington Beach? Bobby?
Issue number 1 is homelessness. I've talked to a lot of business owners who say they are tired of homeless people coming in and vandalizing their areas, using their storefronts for bathrooms, and generally chasing away paying customers. I see issue number 2 is the city having to subsidize organizations and businesses in the city for them to stay. And them staying is a good thing, but the city having to pay for that for them to stay is not. And we need to do better on that. And then the third thing is large corporations coming in and muscling out the mom and pops. They're buying some strip malls, forcing out the smaller businesses. Some franchises are good, but not at the expense of people who live and work here and forcing them out. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Bobby.
All right, so I believe regulations and mandates, businesses are still struggling from the pandemic. We still have crazy restrictions coming from Sacramento. People trying to tell our city and our business owners how to live their lives, how to run their businesses. I oppose that. Of course, high taxes is a problem that coincides with that. That's the second challenge here. I've signed and I will enforce a no new tax pledge. I'm not raising anybody's taxes. And then thirdly, we have inflation. Inflation's out of control. We're feeling it when we go to the grocery store. We're feeling it when we go out to eat, and businesses are really feeling it. They're struggling. Everything's going up. Businesses are being displaced because of raising rent everywhere. But I've talked to plenty of business owners that are going through that here and have for the last few years. So those are my 3 regulations, high taxes, and inflation. Those are the 3 biggest challenges.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate that. Next up is Pat.
I believe increase in crime is one of the biggest issues we're facing related to homelessness. But I've talked to the chief a few times and some officers, and having come from Long Beach being a police officer, it's a definite problem we don't want here, and we don't want it to flourish. So we got to deal with the crime issue and make this city safe for everybody. Homelessness pretty much connected to that. There's a large increase in calls for service between fire and police that is taken away from righteous need for the citizens. Then, of course, I don't like talking to business owners and such, overregulation by the state, the city, and our city council not fighting state overreach. I believe that we should help business flourish, and deregulation is a big part of it. So crime, homelessness, and overregulation, and make business-friendly environment for the businesses. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Next up, we'll have Gina.
Well, it's definitely inflation, inflation, inflation. It's not just a nationwide problem, it's a California problem, it's an Orange County problem, it's a Huntington Beach problem, and I can tell you, it's a problem for the Ocean View School District, which I serve as the president of. We have seen our construction costs for rebuilding our schools for Measure R literally triple. It is damaging the school district, it's damaging Huntington Beach. Inflation is out of control. Second, high taxes in California in general, And specifically in Huntington Beach, the business unfriendly environment, having to get permits for this, to just about everything, is really disconcerting and really off-putting to small business owners. I know that because I helped my mother to run our business in Texas. It's an LLC, and I oversee a portfolio of commercial real estate, and I can tell you Texas is much business friendlier. And lastly, internet sales. They are damaging our Huntington Beach local businesses.
Thank you, Gina. Next up, we have David.
All right, first off, it's red tape and government regulation. There's enough, I think, state overreach from Sacramento. You know, you can think back to COVID, they closed businesses down for what reason, right? You know, those types of policies trickle down to the local level. Second, inflation. I agree with a lot of the other people. Inflation is a huge problem. It's rents are going up and it's pushing some of our local businesses to leave the area or close down permanently. And lastly is actually labor. I think, like most businesses, in the last year or two, labor has been very difficult to come by. I know in my industry, you just can't find good work. So I think that part of the issue is education and proper workforce training to get people into the right jobs. So I think that's one of the issues that needs to be tackled. But all three of those have a common theme. You know, it's liberal policies either at the national or at the state level. So that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Next up, we'll have Vera.
All right, I definitely agree with what the others have said so far. I would like to add supply chain issues. There's a lot of supply chain issues right now. It's hard to get goods for businesses. And I definitely think that inflation is a huge issue right now. You know, it definitely costs more to do business these days, and businesses are struggling and having a hard time due to inflation and things costing more. And I would definitely agree with government red tape and, you know, the time it takes to get permits, and we need to definitely streamline the process for how businesses get things done and make it more business friendly.
State regulation, state regulation, state regulation.
All right, next up is Jill.
Homelessness seems to be the answer to any question that says what's the challenge for businesses, residents, our parks, or schools. That's the number one challenge. Inflation is a challenge currently, but even before we were experiencing inflation, we saw high rents, whether they're for commercial or for the workers who work in Huntington Beach. So looking at affordable rents, both residential and commercial. And then finally, I agree that the red tape, the ability for the city to think out the box takes years. For example, we had industrial businesses wanting to have a small retail shop where they produce the goods, or maybe some food for their employees, and it took years to change the zoning to allow that to be a streamlined and easier pace, but that doesn't mean it can't get done.
Thank you, Jill. Next up is Ken.
Thank you. I also agree that inflation is a major issue for businesses because it costs them more to do business and therefore it's harder for them to make a profit. One of the things that I've heard quite often today is red tape and regulations. What I would do if I was a member of the city council is have the business community meet with the regulators and find out exactly what the bottlenecks are. Let's identify the types of issues that are causing the businesses to have concerns and not be able to follow their dream. And the other thing is the fact that we have internet sales, the fact that everybody's not using brick and mortar anymore, and the fact that we need to maybe upgrade our brick and mortar so to make it more attractive for people to go back shopping.
Thank you, Kenneth. Next up is Casey.
The city council election is a local election, and locally what's affecting Huntington Beach, first of all, is crime, and second is homelessness, as wrapped into public safety, which is the number one role of government. And those two issues are out of control, and it's limiting the ability of our local businesses to be successful. And then thirdly is overregulation at City Hall and excessive fees for applications without any guarantee that they'll be approved. We're around the town every night with meet and greets, and we hear countless stories of business owners that have great ideas to incur more business to their shop or restaurant and increase sales tax, which is our number 2 source of revenue to our general fund. And City Hall is anti-business friendly. They get discouraged and they go to nearby cities like Costa Mesa and Westminster, where they open up shops and restaurants and businesses, and our residents shop there, and we bleed sales tax dollars to other cities. It's unacceptable.
Thank you, Casey. Next up is Billy.
As a former city councilman, one of the challenges I saw for businesses in our community was government regulations, the turnaround time to get permits, fees. So what we did in that case was we encouraged city staff to increase the turnaround time to get permits approved and inspections done. But unfortunately that has changed. I see folks out in our community that are doing businesses, when they're waiting to get a permit approved, they have to wait all day for somebody to come out and do an inspection. The cost of doing business in our community is getting tougher and tougher for small businesses. And what I strongly advocate, that we have to push and encourage our businesses where the city, like what they did in Anaheim years ago, have a tax holiday to incentivize people to come out and spend money in our community. Also, homelessness. Homelessness is a huge issue, and bad government policy is creating more homelessness in our community. And I've seen it time and time again. We have to address this. Basically, there's a housing first model out there which continues to keep people in homelessness. Thank you.
Thank you, Billy. And just a reminder, guys, mics, chins to the mic, and speak loudly, clearly into the mic. Next up, Oscar.
Yes. So for me, it's number one, navigating our zoning requirements. As a planning commissioner, I see it every day where businesses are applying for permits. The wait around time is 6 to 8 weeks. And then there's no guarantee that we as a planning commission will approve the project. Let's streamline that. I know council has done that with the Beach and Energy Corridor. Let's expand that to other areas around the city. Number two is the high cost of housing. If you're a business and if you know your employees can't afford to live where your business is located, why would you move here? Number three is also aging infrastructure for commercial. You look around, a lot of these buildings were built in the 1960s, 1950s. It's time to do some commercial business rehab. So that way, maybe tech companies or other industries can move in that pay good paying jobs so that people can afford to live here.
Thank you, Oscar. Next up is Gabrielle.
I know a couple of the common ones that have already been said that I agree with are homelessness. That's a big issue. Even I've faced it trying to go to certain businesses downtown that are family owned and are local businesses. Another one I want to say is while inflation is a huge one, also the fact that all of our businesses are recovering from this COVID economy as well. Most businesses don't have large corporations to pay for the safety stickers, the vinyl dividers, the plastic dividers that they needed in order to keep their businesses open. Now they're hit with this inflation to where they're at a point where they can't even survive to stay open. I actually have discussed with a couple businesses what they feel the issues are, and a huge one is labor, especially after this post-COVID economy where no one wants to go back to work. So even I work at Hyatt Hotel in Huntington Beach, one of our most beautiful hotels. They are paying the most minimum job, $22 per hour. They can't get anyone that would want to work right now. So I think those three are huge issues for a lot of our local businesses because it's running them down to where they can't even support themselves.
Thank you, Gabrielle. And next is Tony.
Number one is homelessness, as a lot of people talked about. We're talking to folks, even people around town that don't even go to downtown anymore with their families because of the homeless problem. And it's not only downtown, it's throughout the city. And so we need to solve that day one. Number two, overregulation, inflation. In fact, when we talk about inflation, a lot of people say, a lot of that's national, but I'll talk to you how it's specific here in Huntington Beach. We went in this new power authority, and as you talk to businesses here in Huntington Beach who are now under the new power authority, they've had their energy costs go up 50 to 100%. We need to look at that and make sure that we change that because that's a high inflation to everybody in Huntington Beach. And number three is public safety, because if you are not safe in your business, you might as well not even open your doors. Public safety is the most essential role of government. We always have to make that a top priority. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Next up is Gracie.
Homelessness is definitely the number one issue affecting our businesses right now. Pat, Casey, myself, and I went downtown. We spoke to many business owners. They said they're really tired of having to jump over homeless people sleeping outside their doors. They're tired of having to wash the urine and feces out from the front of their buildings, and a lot of people do not even want to enter those buildings anymore because of that. Also increase in crimes, the burglaries. We had just 2 smash and grabs coming up, one right down my neighborhood. 12 people ran in, and they did shoot. The owner did shoot back, but it's just increasing, and they just don't feel safe anymore, the business owners. and overregulation. We have been talking to many business owners, and we actually spoke to several that actually left because they said they're sick and tired and frustrated with all the overregulation, and they just went to Costa Mesa and they went to Westminster where they were received with open arms. So we need to become more business friendly as well.
Thank you, Gracie. And Mike?
Thank you. A lot has been said here about homelessness and public safety. They are related. I agree that there's a problem. Entry cost into business, to businesses, taxes, overregulation, as well as encouraging and keeping small businesses. What I'm not hearing tonight, though, however, is what are you going to do about the homelessness and the crime that occurs? I pledge that if I'm elected, I'm going to work with the city attorney as an attorney myself to develop comprehensive municipal ordinances that are going to address this problem, that takes a strong hand, but also withstands constitutional muster. I don't want to intrude on anybody's civil liberties or civil rights, but we do have to get serious about this. We don't want Huntington Beach to become Venice Beach. That's absolutely something that I'm not interested in, and I'm going to do what I can to defend against that, both as a city council member and an attorney. There's also a lot of discussion about issues that we cannot affect that are national issues, which goes back to my discussion about political bosses and taking marching orders from somewhere else. Inflation, taxes, supply chains, we can't do anything about it. Let's focus on roads for the city, street lights, public safety. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. And thank you guys for talking about the 3 challenges for business in Huntington Beach. Now let's move on to our next question. Are you aware of businesses lost to other cities? And if so, what would you do as a city council member to attract those businesses back to Huntington Beach?
Okay, thank you. I guess we're going the other way. I'm not familiar with what businesses have been lost, but I will tell you what's important is we focus on the future and the businesses we can attract into Huntington Beach. This is much more important. Some of the issues that I would look at is I would want to bring in IT and other businesses that are brought in for the community and the people who work today. The other issue is I'm sorry I didn't expect to go this way, but we need to deal with the homelessness problem. We need to deal with the crime problem. We need to deal with people sleeping in the streets. We need to deal with the motorhomes parking on the streets and blocking traffic and taking up parking spaces. I would also work with the city attorney and the city council to discuss permitting that between 2 and 6 a.m. in the morning, cars can't park on the streets or at least part of the city streets in order to clear the streets at night so we can have some safety. And that's going to focus on businesses and bring businesses back. And that's what we have to focus on. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Gracie?
So I'm actually aware of several businesses who chose to not do business here in Huntington Beach anymore. 3 of them are restaurants. They decided we're done. We're just going to go to Costa Mesa. They said come on down. So we lost that revenue. I also know of a yoga studio and a nail studio. They both went to Westminster. We need to streamline the permitting process. It's extremely frustrating, and we should be welcoming all of these businesses here with open arms. We are a tourist destination. It would do nothing but help our community to open our arms to these businesses. So what we need to do is streamline the permitting process. Thank you.
Thank you, Gracie. Tony?
Very aware of residents who've actually left Huntington Beach. A lot of it has to do with the COVID as well, with the shutdowns. Many restaurants have gone, and a lot of it also is that California is, in general, business friendly. But in terms of Huntington Beach, what can we do to bring back those businesses? I would say the first priority, instead of bringing back, we need to sit down with people who are here and stayed here and ask them what we need to do as council members to keep them here first. Before we start looking abroad, let's make sure the ones that are here are successful. Then we go back and sell Huntington Beach. It is very easy to sell Huntington Beach. We're Surf City, internationally known. We need to do whatever we can. We need to cut the red tape and make sure we attract businesses. But number one priority is keep the ones that stayed here, keep them open.
Thank you, Tony. Gabrielle?
I think actually a lot of what we said in the first question applies to the second question as well. And I think Gracie and Casey made a great point about streamlining and making the process more appealing for businesses to want to have business here. I think another one that was said was also upgrading our rundown shopping centers and infrastructure, making it more appealing, because we are, someone just said, an easy city to sell. We are the tourist city. We are the place that people want to go and do business with. We just have to make sure that it's safe for them. I think homelessness is a huge issue, and I think one of the biggest things we can do as a community is really sit down and understand what our homeless problem is. I know we have a task force that helped with rehabilitating a lot of the homeless, but now we're struggling with the homeless that are substance abusing and don't want help. So we have to find a way that we can really get them off our streets, or at least control where they are, so that our businesses can be successful and that our citizens can be safe.
Thank you, Gabrielle. Oscar?
Yeah, so I'm not personally aware of any business that has been lost to other cities, but definitely to other countries. My father lost his manufacturing job to the country he immigrated from. And one thing we could do definitely is, number one, streamline the process, making it easier for businesses to find resources so that they could navigate City Hall in a much better position. I definitely would like to see some manufacturing mixed with IT come back. We know that IT with tech jobs provide good livable wages so that people can live here in the city. And also looking at our commercial zoning and making sure that we can expand that to allow different businesses, because currently certain businesses are only allowed in certain zones. And so what can we do to expand that? Currently staff is doing that, but we're doing it as we go. What can we do to be more proactive to expand that so that businesses feel like they could be here in Huntington Beach?
Thank you. Oscar? Billy?
Yes, can you hear me? So basically, I've seen businesses leave our city, and downtown Huntington Beach was a huge challenge for a lot of the business owners, the high rents, the homeless issues, and it still continues to be. So I believe that the city needs to form a public-private partnership to incentivize the businesses downtown so they can afford to do business. And basically during the time of the pandemic, I watched many businesses close their doors. We didn't close our door once during the time of the pandemic, and we reached out to our community, and we fed thousands of people when they needed help. We supported businesses. We visited people that had issues with the COVID. So basically, I think we need to take a more proactive approach, streamline the process like I've done when I was in City Council, and make it more business friendly in our city, and incentivize small businesses to come back. I believe it can be done. Look at the Anaheim model.
Thank you, Billy. Casey?
Being out every night in our city at meet and greets, we hear countless stories of businesses that we lose to other cities, and unfortunately most of these are small businesses. These people put together their life savings to invest in our city, and they're overburdened by excessive fees, at some point $50,000 for a permit or a conditional use permit, etc. And they get discouraged, and they go to Costa Mesa or Santa Ana, Westminster, where they have open arms and welcome them, and again, we lose sales tax dollars. It's unacceptable. It needs to change. We need to streamline. Together, along with other business owners in the community, we have the HB Small Business Alliance. We have over 100 small businesses that have gotten together, and we've come up with ways where the city can be more business friendly to encourage investment in our community. Tony touched on it too. Let's focus on keeping these businesses. And one particular that we should keep is the air show, who's thinking about leaving our city, where Australia and other countries are rolling out the red carpet, and this city council is nickel and diming the air show over parking fees, which has a $105 million economic impact to our city. We're about to chase them out. Again, unacceptable.
Next up is Kenneth.
I like the idea of meeting with the local businesses and trying to identify how we can help them. I think that's an excellent way to start. As far as the permitting and regulations, I'm just not familiar with that process to know how much of a detriment that is. But certainly to the extent that we're not competitive with our neighbors, I think we should evaluate our pricing and how we're doing business. Because it's important to have a very vibrant local business community. I think the city council should do all we can to make sure that the people that have invested their life savings to their business can do well in our city.
Thank you, Kenneth. Jill?
I actually think of the businesses that are not in Huntington Beach but say they're in Huntington Beach. Like most of the shopping center where the Target is on Beach Boulevard is actually in Westminster, but they'll tell you they're in Huntington Beach because they want the address but they don't want the regulations. There's also the shopping center at Brookhurst and Talbert. Several of those businesses in Fountain Valley claim they're in Huntington Beach. So how do we get those businesses that want to be in Huntington Beach to actually be in Huntington Beach? A lot of it has to do with surrounding infrastructure, supporting the aging infrastructure and getting better roads, more traffic flow, lighting, safety, homelessness, even the landscaping can help. As a council member, I've done business visits. They've been very successful, but they're one of those things that comes and goes. So that would be one of the things I'd want to start up again with the city is visiting various businesses. And then also working with the various resources we have in the community, whether it's Golden West College, the Chamber, thanks for hosting us, and other nonprofits in town.
Thank you, Jill. Emery?
Thank you. I would, as a councilman, support reopening Main Street. I think that would greatly benefit our businesses. Cars are not even aware that there is a whole set of businesses on the second and first block downtown. I also think that transportation is an important issue, particularly public transportation. Of note, the one unique thing about this election is our mayor, who is our OCTA board representative, will be terming out. So something to consider when voting, that one of us may be the new OCTA rep. Thank you.
Thank you, Emery. And Vera?
Yeah, I definitely would want to bring businesses together to come up with the ideas to on how to help them best to stay in business. You know, it would be great to get their ideas on how to help them. I definitely think homelessness and crime is an issue, and enforcement of the crime that's happening in our city, ensuring that you know, we have stricter, you know, stricter enforcement of the crimes. Streamlining regulation, you know, streamlining permitting process, making it easier to do business here, helping to make it friendly, more business friendly, so businesses will stay here and also to come back to Huntington Beach, as well as, yeah, just, you know, incentivizing the businesses. And we definitely need to ensure the economic vitality of our businesses, so this is something that's really important for us to do.
Thank you, Vera. Next is David.
Personally, I've not seen or heard of any businesses leaving, but what we need to do is incentivize businesses to actually come to Huntington Beach. One way by doing that is reducing the red tape. A couple other people spoke. A lot of the issues is the businesses that are leaving are small businesses, so we need to incentivize them to come back. One way to do that is better infrastructure, like providing high-speed internet to those facilities, upgrading strip malls. Lastly, there is, for the tourism industry, we have, there's a T-bid, it's called Visit HB. They get the 4% tax on all occupancy, and they're supposed to gross about $6 million this year of tax money, but it doesn't, it's a private company. They have a lot of resources. Their job is to provide marketing for Huntington Beach and bring tourism into Huntington Beach. They have data, they have an online presence, and I would work to make sure that Visit HB would provide consulting, online help, marketing, and help out small businesses in the tourism industry.
Thank you, David. Next is Gina.
Thank you. As the president of OBSD, I'm honored to be the leader of an organization that is a member of the Chamber, and I can tell you the data that we're seeing is not only that businesses are leaving Huntington Beach, but families are fleeing. And what does that mean? It means that there are less folks here to live, to work, and to purchase, to be the buyers, the consumers in our community. Businesses are leaving. It's not good. I know that as well, being the president of OBSD, I not only interact with the city of Huntington Beach, but also with Westminster, Fountain Valley, and the county area of Midway City. And I can tell you for a fact that those areas are definitely much more business friendly. We've got to cut through this red tape, these regulations, so that folks will want to do business here. That is just the fact as it stands. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gina. Next is Pat.
I have heard of businesses leaving our city, but I also hear a lot of business owners threatening to leave our city because of the overregulation and hassle it is to do simple things like put a few walls within their business. The inspection process, the permit process is a nightmare. So we got to get better with that and make it more business friendly as a whole. People want to be here. People want to live here and work here. And we cannot put impediments in their way to have them operate freely. Law enforcement's going to be a big issue. Law enforcement, we got to get crime under control, and which is the homelessness problem again. Get all that in control, it'll attract businesses because we'll be that beautiful suburban beachfront community that we want to be, that we come here to live for. And I believe that the city is the best city in the county, and we should be the leader in that area.
Thank you, Pat. Next up is Brian.
So outside special interests currently control our city council, and they're trying to buy this election. They're trying to spend over $500,000 simply because, largely in a lot of ways, to keep me off the council, to be completely blunt with you. You know, I mentioned this at the last forum in 2018 when I first ran about how development really negatively impacts our city if it's not done with consideration of all of us. Metro Express Car Wash, down the Beachcomber and Sunset Beach, these aren't only businesses leaving, these are jobs leaving, these are people's lives that are ruined. And that's awful. I remember meeting with Metro Car Wash's owner, and I remember hundreds of people went over to their other location. So we're losing that revenue in our city, we're losing those jobs. I'm not bought by any of those outside special interests. I'm serving you. You can always count on me to do what's right. And that's why they're trying to keep me off the city council.
And Bobby?
Boeing downsized. Burlington Coat Factory is going to be replaced by 400 new apartments over in Bellaterra. And Poseidon didn't happen. Gina brought up a very, very good point. And that is we get 6% of the 1% of internet sales that's pooled within Orange County. I have no idea how much it is, but I doubt it's nearly as much as it would be for us to get the 2.5% sales tax from our own businesses here in Huntington Beach. If we're going to subsidize these multi-million-dollar events like the Pacific Air Show and other things going on, why don't we subsidize our small business owners? I like the idea of the tax holiday. Let's get the small businesses back in here. I like what Tony said too about let's not just attract new business, let's support the businesses we already have. Give them a break so that they can get caught up and we can start generating that revenue. Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby. All right, that concludes our question, which was how to get lost businesses that we lost and how to attract them back to Huntington Beach. Thank you, guys. All right, and I like the synergy we're going back and forth. Sorry, Mike, kind of got that one, but you did a wonderful job. A reminder, guys, eat the mic, okay? Eat the mic, tune on mic so we can hear you back in the back. You guys have been doing a good job, so I appreciate it. All right, next question. What industry sector or sectors do you think the city should pursue to diversify beyond tourism and car sales revenue? Bobby, I'll start with you.
So before we diversify past tourism, tourism is a huge, huge benefit to this city, and we need to focus on that. If you've ever been down to the bathrooms at the beach, they're disgusting, okay? If we clean up things like that, we improve our tourism so more and more people come out here, that generates more money for all our businesses. But to diversify, I would love to see more with the film industry, tech, digital, and green energy. Green energy is a great untapped place to start generating money. For example, there are now buoys that you can put in the ocean. They're non-toxic, they don't hurt wildlife, but they generate energy. That's good technological stuff that we can use to put Huntington Beach on the map as a green energy, especially considering what's underneath us right now. We could be the green energy champions of California. Thanks.
Thank you, Bobby. Brian?
So I think our manufacturing industry is the biggest area of growth. If you look at, just north of Huntington Harbor, West Huntington Beach, there's all these empty warehouses in a lot of cases. We need to be bringing jobs here. We need to have a full court press recruiting other businesses. I'll be directly involved, if I'm fortunate to serve on your city council, I'll be directly involved in that recruitment process. Try to bring those businesses here. We talked about businesses that have left, try to bring those ones back, and try to expand our city into newer industries, try to incentivize businesses to come back and to do business with us. You look at the Amazon deal that the city tried to do with Long Beach a few years ago. We really need to step up our game and be more competitive. When an employer that big is on the table, we need to be there and have a bigger voice. And this is Surf City. There's no reason they shouldn't want to do business here.
Thank you, Brian. Pat, to you.
I think the solution is pretty simple. Let free market drive it. We don't belong in the area of directing businesses. Let them do it itself. Make it friendly for them to come, and free market will drive what businesses come here, and it'll become diverse. And support the businesses that are here, such as tourism, like that air show. I think it's disgusting what happened to that. So I believe just free market will divide the diversity, and we'll get the best businesses in here because we're the best city.
Thank you, Pat. Gina?
So we know that information technology, IT, is the way. It is the way of the future. It's here. It's going to be here. It will drive us. And we know that we have one of the most educated populations in Orange County, in California. So we have the labor to be able to get IT up and running in Huntington Beach. It's a clean business as well. It doesn't create any pollution. And that's wonderful for our environment. I think that, yes, IT, and to make sure that we have a clean IT, yes, and light manufacturing, light industrial. Thank you.
Thank you, Gina. Next up is David.
You know, as a businessman, I enjoy solving problems like this. And I like the idea of the free market driving it, but we do need to plan infrastructure to make sure we can accommodate the various types of industries we need to attract. I have three in my mind. One is technology. I mean, we have Silicon Valley. Look what happened up there to the home prices, and there's a lot of good, high-paying jobs up there. We now actually have Silicon Beach, for those of you that don't know, out in the near Santa Monica area. There's a lot of tech in there. I think we need to bring that to Huntington Beach. Also, the medical sector. We have, excuse me, we have an aging population in Huntington Beach. I think we need to bring closer to home medical care to our seniors and aging populations. And again, those are more high-paying jobs. Lastly, I agree with Brian, more manufacturing. Those bring good blue-collar, high-paying jobs. And they bring in also ancillary industries like transportation. You bring in mechanics, other skilled labor that I think our city desperately needs as well.
All right, thank you so much. Next up is going to be Vera.
All right, I definitely agree with David here. With our aging population, our baby boomers are getting older. I definitely think medical is an important business to have more of in Huntington Beach, and bring that in. Definitely think we need to ensure to keep our current businesses, but then also needing to diversify as well. High tech is a huge area for us to attract and bring in. I mean, tech is the wave of the future. AI, ML, automation, digital. We definitely need to bring that in. And like David said, I mean, I like the idea of a Silicon Beach. And making Huntington Beach, be the Silicon Beach, even though we, there is a bit of a Silicon Beach up north of here. But yeah, if Huntington Beach can be that going forward, that'd be awesome. Software businesses, IT, all of the future type of businesses.
I believe that we need information technology as well. I do not think we should have Amazon return, however, due to the fact that they chose a largely already developed area of Brooklyn over us. I think that shows a lack of interest in local community, the local community here. I would perhaps support an Apple store or something along those lines, some sort of competitor to Amazon. But I do agree with Mr. Burns. The free market is such an essential element. I think the city council needs to be cautious in its dealing with business.
Thank you. Jill?
A lot of what the city does to support businesses is provide the infrastructure for it. So as people are talking about the need for technology jobs, it's really the infrastructure providing the internet access at the newest level, the highest speeds, things the city can do to encourage those types of businesses to come here. Whatever businesses we have, the emphasis needs to be on our sales tax base and being able to receive some revenues off of these businesses. Then I've always felt that there's a lot of money to be made in sustainable jobs, and as we continue to experience new things with our environment and the green energy type ideas, those are ideas that people just aren't really making the effort to get the money for. And then also we need to consider that we have a very well-educated population, and that population would like to work close to home, and so providing jobs that meet the skill level, and the very high skill level of our population.
Thank you, Jill. Kenneth?
Having been in business for many years, one of the things I found is that quite often it's a good idea to bring people together to try to identify, for example, in Huntington Beach, maybe we can create a technology zone. bring landlords, potential businesses together, to see what we can do to entice people to come bring their businesses here. The advantages of having technology business here is like Gina was saying, that they're clean businesses. They would bring people with high education. It would bring a lot of revenue to the city, a lot of consumers. And I think that'd be a way to bring the economy in Huntington Beach back up. Thank you.
Thank you, Kenneth. Casey?
Yeah, I don't think the government should be involved in pursuing industry, but rather create a fertile environment that's business friendly, like we touched on several times, by limiting fees, cutting red tape, etc. We're Huntington Beach. We have international name recognition, the most photographed pier in the world. Businesses should be lining up to get into our city, and we can be a first-class city with a strong local economy that will allow us to afford a first-in-class police force and fire department that will then encourage more investment and also bring up our quality of life. So it's critical that we allow the free market to do what it needs to do by creating a fertile business environment. And I will give you an example of government getting involved in an industry that's gone wrong, and that's with the majority of the city council getting us involved in the very complicated energy business, the Orange County Power Authority. We met with it, they think that they can buy and sell energy cheaper than Edison. And we had one business owner in town who has 2 warehouses. He said when he was opted in, his energy bill went up 100%. And he's thinking about leaving our city. That's an industry that government should not be involved in.
Appreciate that, Casey. Billy?
Yes, manufacturing, light manufacturing, IT. This afternoon I was with a gentleman that runs a business in our city, light manufacturing, probably approximately over $500,000 in sales tax to our city. He's having some challenges with the city with parking. But not alone does he pay sales tax, he also employs people. These people spend money in our city, they do business in our city, so it's an overall benefit. Another thing that we have to do is we have to revitalize downtown Huntington Beach. Families do not want to go downtown Huntington Beach. We've got to support our businesses down there. We've got to invest. Now, I'm all about free and fair trade, but when you don't have free and fair trade, we have to step up and support American business, small business and American workers. And if we don't start bringing our supply chains or encouraging our supply chains from being overseas to come back into the United States, that's going to be a huge challenge in the future. If you look at inflation today, the cost of goods, outside goods, and there's nobody to produce them, we're in huge problems. So we need to change that. Thank you.
Thank you, Billy. Oscar?
Yes, for the past 2 questions, you've heard me talk about IT manufacturing as being very important. Definitely supplying fiber optic throughout the city, which the current city council has been approving, so kudos to them. One untapped potential, though, that we do have an opportunity to compete with other cities is number 1 is transportation. How can we connect people from point A to point B? That is very important. We talked about it earlier. Everybody agreed that traffic is a problem in our city, right? So again, untapped potential transportation. What are the costs, the benefits of that? Reduce greenhouse gas emissions. We connect people from point A to point B. Less people are on the roads. And we could definitely use that to increase our business and become business friendly for the rest of Huntington Beach.
Thank you, Oscar. Gabrielle?
Again, I know we discussed this before, but before fully diversifying, we do need to make sure that our city is business friendly and that our businesses are supported. And like Bobby said earlier, tourism definitely is our biggest factor to our economy, but that doesn't mean that we can't keep trying to make it better. One of my biggest things, again, working in the hotel industry, is I have people that come here because they hear it's such a great place. They go downtown, they come back, and they say, that is not what we expected. There's people that don't want to return here because it's not what they expected. So we do have the air show, we do have the US Open, but tourism also funds our small businesses, our family-owned businesses, and I think that we really have to support those before we just try to keep finding new revenues and diversifying our business area. That being said, I do think IT, manufacturing, all those are great options, but I really think we should focus on our businesses that we already have and supporting our small businesses.
Thank you, Gabrielle. Tony?
I think we should pursue as many industries as possible. And again, it's a free market. We shouldn't pick and choose as government, oh, we like you, we don't like you. We should include as much as possible. But the key is, as we said before, Huntington Beach is an internationally known city. We cut the red tape and roll out the red carpet, then more people will come here. And as a business owner wants to come to Huntington Beach, we need to sit down with them and say, well, okay, what do you need? Maybe we can work with our local universities and colleges and make sure we work that they have a curriculum that fits that business as they come in, so we have a feeder job right away. And I want to say Bobby Britton, brilliant. Like the wave energy is exactly what we need here. However, the reason why we don't have it in California and in the United States is in order to do that, you need 23 federal, state, and local agencies to sign off on something that is a 24/7 technology that could solve energy problems. But because of over-regulation, no one invests here, but it's a technology that works in Europe. That's exactly the kind of thing that we need to fix if we're going to move forward on renewable energy.
Thank you, Tony. Gracie?
So as a tourist destination, we should be open to every type of business, not narrow it down to just a few. We have people from all over the world who come over here to spend their hard-earned money to entertain their families, to get away from work, to get away from the hustle and bustle. They just want to come downtown, spend some money, buy, souvenirs, whatever they can. They don't do that because they don't feel safe. We've actually spoken to several people who say they don't want to come out there because it's not clean and it's not safe. And our second highest source of income for our city is tourist revenue. So we should be more open to more businesses to accommodate all the needs of all the tourists that we have and our 3 residents. Thank you.
Thank you, Gracie. Mike?
Thank you. I wouldn't be so quick to adopt a European energy style at this point. They're cutting down trees to fuel their homes this coming winter. It's a big problem. We need to be aware of that, and we should avoid that at all costs. I think IT is really important. I think that we need to look at what the economy has become. It's a changed economy. It's not a heavy industry economy. We need to, I think WeWork kind of businesses and offices are a really good thing to attract young people and young businesses to come in here, if not on a part-time and a full-time basis. And I think that one of the important things also is we really do need to look at the most important business we have is the people who live here. So revitalizing downtown is a really, really important idea. Cities all over California have taken advantage of their own populations to raise revenue. For example, you've got 3rd Street in Santa Monica. You've got Colorado Boulevard in Pasadena. You've got, in Newport Beach, you have the mall, and I've forgotten the name of it, but the outdoor mall. People want to be outside, and Huntington Beach should capitalize that with the greatest resource available, which is our citizens. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. And just a reminder for everyone, the question was about pursuing diversity beyond tourism and car sales revenue. Thank you. All right, and Mike, we're going to start with you, and then the next question is going to be for all the candidates. Please share any key business insights that you will carry with you to City Council.
This is a really complex question, but I think the most important question we all need to ask ourselves, not just in this room, but anybody in the city should be asking, what kind of Huntington Beach do we want to have? What kind of city do we want to live in? And do we want an industrial city like Vernon, or a party town, maybe with marijuana dealers and weed shops on every corner? Do we want to have a family-oriented city like Huntington Beach that we have been and we should continue to promote? The reality is we're a suburb of larger cities, ideally or primarily Los Angeles and the surrounding areas. But we want to create and maintain this suburban city, and I mentioned earlier that I would work with the city attorney, I'll work with the city council from both a legal and accounting perspective to affect the kinds of change that needs to occur in this city. And I think that I run a small business myself. I'm a 2-person law firm. My wife and I, we face the same problems any other small business faces. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Gracie?
As a business owner, I'm familiar with some of the challenges regarding the permitting process. We really need to streamline that permitting process so businesses stay here. I spoke to a gentleman at an event we were at, and he was simply trying to put up a dance floor. He was told he'd have to pay several thousands of dollars for them to go out and take a look and see if they would approve it, and even then they would probably not approve it, and he wouldn't get a refund. We need to start being more friendly to these businesses. Also, we have to make sure that our businesses feel safe. The burglary that we had in Isabella's Jewelry, the owner already had a firearm on him because he already did not feel safe. It's been years that our businesses do not feel safe enough. He used that firearm to protect themselves. We shouldn't be at a position where our business owners feel they have to have firearms to protect themselves. So we need to make our city safe for them.
Thank you, Gracie. Tony?
Well, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. I think a lot of times elected officials think they're experts at everything. The bottom line is, if you're elected, your job is to listen and talk to people who work in their business every day, day in and day out, and not come in as an expert, but come in as someone who will learn what they need to do and learn what we could do from our perspective and take those voices with us to City Hall to fix those problems. On top of that, as said before, public safety. If you don't have if you don't feel safe in your business, in your streets, in your schools, it just doesn't work. And homeless problem, we've got to fix the homeless problem. The other thing I would like to just touch upon, if I'm lucky enough to be your councilman, I think we need to get more revenue and more money from the state and the federal government. And I think my experience both in the state Senate and the state assembly and being able to understand how we can get some of that money coming down earmarked to Huntington Beach will be very important, especially when we talk about building our infrastructure in this wonderful city.
Thank you, Tony. Gabrielle?
One of my biggest campaign promises is to keep Huntington, Huntington. And I think Mike said it best. What kind of Huntington Beach do we want to live in? And the one that I grew up in and my mom grew up in was a family-oriented Huntington Beach. That encompasses what Gracie keeps preaching about is our safety, homelessness, issues like that. Businesses owners here or not, we don't encompass what businesses have problems are as a whole. So I think the biggest thing, like I said in my opening statement, is I want to be a really key bridge between the citizens and the city council. So the biggest way that I can have any insight, or any of us can have any insight, is hearing from the businesses themselves and hearing what majority of them have issues with and taking those into account. I think every council member here has great insights and has a lot to offer the council, but at the end of the day, I think it really matters what the city has to say and what we can come up with as a whole.
Thank you, Gabrielle. Oscar?
Yeah, so I used to serve on the board of a local nonprofit called Cielo, and their mission is to help entrepreneurs and become small businesses and then grow to something bigger. I think we could do that by, number one, definitely supporting entrepreneurs that are here in Huntington Beach. Number two, I think working with our local school system and also our labor entities like plumbers, electricians, who are also in high demand around the city. And also definitely uplifting people and helping businesses navigate the local zoning laws. Through my experience, as I mentioned in the beginning, through Planning Commission, I've seen many businesses go through the process. It's a long process. It costs a lot of money, only to figure out that maybe the process isn't going in the direction that they want. So number one, decrease that, and making sure that small businesses could stay in Huntington Beach will be some of the top priorities that I bring to the City Council. So thank you.
Thank you, Oscar. Billy?
Yes, I've started businesses. I understand the challenges of starting a new business, and what I would strongly encourage is for everybody to understand, if our small businesses win, everybody wins. Recently, I'm opening a new business in another city, and it took 3 weeks to get a business license. And they tried to put a conditional use permit on me, which didn't need to happen. Anyway, we ironed it out. By the time we were done, we were 6 weeks in the process. This is the kind of stuff that we're faced with. Even our residents, when they try and do a little addition, the challenges that they go through, the process, the permitting process, we need to streamline that. Because when, I'm going to repeat myself, when our businesses win, our city wins, everybody wins. And that's what we should be looking for. We should educate and let our folks know that work with us, that you know what, we can do this together. And we have great staff down there at City Hall. Thank you.
Thank you, Billy. Casey?
As a business owner in commercial real estate in the retail sector, running entitled projects all across the country, and then my experience on the Finance Commission and the Charter Commission for the city with the public sector experience, I want to fuse the two to create an environment of competency, fairness, and efficiency in City Hall. And I also want to use my commercial real estate experience to protect us against the predatory, irresponsible, high-density development that's affecting our city. As an example, at Beach in Yorktown, they're going to build 192 units with 65 parking spaces. It's irresponsible development. That parking now will bleed out into the neighboring communities, displace those residents left to park blocks from their home where they're ripe for crime and mugging. And then lastly, we have our team, Tony, Gracie, Pat, and myself, have private-public partnership ideas on how to fuse the private sector into our government to solve issues like the homelessness and crime, so we don't overburden the taxpayers, but use nonprofit charities as an approach.
Thank you, Casey. Kenneth?
This evening, I've heard too many people complain about permitting and regulations. That being said, as a member of the city council, I would set up an omnibus process where that the person that's going through permitting can try to find some recourse to unnecessary red tape and try to figure out why we are so slow in relationship to other communities. I think we have, my opinion is, I think we have very competent staff. But based upon the reports I'm hearing, maybe we don't. And maybe it's a question of trying to identify where the bottlenecks are so that we can be business friendly and make things happen in a very positive way.
Thank you, Kenneth. Jill?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, my degrees are in economics and mathematics, including a master's degree, and I've taught economics at both the high school and community college levels, so I do have the educational background. I've also been a council member for 16 years, and so I've developed relationships over those times, and over that time, and one of my motivations for running this time is to bring back some of the institutional knowledge that was lost during COVID. We have a new staff, we have a new council, and some of the things that we used to do aren't there anymore. Some of them good, some of them bad, but some of the things like continuing those relationships, building them back up, most things have had to be built back up since COVID. That we had quarterly business forums, we had council visits to businesses. I know I've personally visited a place that manufactures hubcaps, another place that makes soap, scrapbooking materials, missed the visit to After's Ice Cream, unfortunately. So, you know, bring back the successful ideas, alter the unsuccessful good ideas, and maybe not try them again, but I do have the knowledge and experience.
Well,
Thank you, Jill.
I do agree. It's important we listen to our chamber members and all of our businesses, as well as all the residents of Huntington Beach. One thing I've heard from talking to business owners and businessmen is that there is nothing more valuable than a long-serving employee. That often those kinds of long years of experience employees are very rare. While I'm here today as a candidate and a concerned citizen, not as a member of the Historic Resources Board, I do serve on the Historic Resources Board, and I've been doing that as the longest candidate currently on the candidate currently on Municipal Deliberative Assembly with the longest experience on a Municipal Deliberative Assembly, and I'm honored to do that, but I would also be honored to be your counsel.
Thank you, Amory. Next is Vera.
All right. Having worked in corporate business for over 20 years and with an MBA from USC, as well as I've served on nonprofit boards, it comes down to the basics of leadership. And you know, we as city council members, we serve the city of Huntington Beach, our community, our people. We need to be willing to listen and work collaboratively with everyone to understand all perspectives to come up with the best solutions. You know, it really takes us all working together and really learning from other cities as well, you know, best practices and the lessons learned. You know, we need to gain those and use those to better our city and to make better decisions. Also, you know, I think we can do better to market our city and tell our city's businesses stories, you know, and attract more positive visitors to our city to enable our local businesses to thrive. We really need to create a business-friendly environment in our city to ensure our economic sustainability. Thank you.
Thank you, Vera. Next up is David.
Yeah, so I own and run a successful business, and our biggest challenge is actually overregulation. I mean, in transportation of hazardous materials, we have over 80 different permits with the local, county, and state, and it's just ridiculous. You know, there's unchecked government power, and that results in other disastrous policies at the state level, like AB 5, the law that took instantly 70,000 truck drivers and turned them into employees against their own will. Secondly, I'm an expert in supply chain management. I hold a degree in aerospace engineering and a master's in supply chain management. And you know, people in this industry know that we're problem solvers, right? We get things done, and I want to thank Tony for pointing out the art of listening, but listening is what we do and solve problems. And I think that's very important. Lastly, I'm very passionate about education. I serve on an advisory board at Cal State Long Beach, their supply chain management program. And what we do is we go to different high schools in the Long Beach area, especially in underserved or underprivileged areas, and we teach kids about jobs in the transportation sector. and help them, encourage them to pursue degrees in supply chain management. And the point of me saying that is that, you know, we need good workforce development.
All right, thank you, David. And Gina?
So the question is about key business insights that I will carry with me to the city council. And I can tell you that business is all about people. And specifically the education business is people-centered. And as one of the 5 board members of the Ocean View School District, I'm proud to oversee a large portfolio of land holdings. These businesses such as Lowe's. Did you know that Lowe's is sitting above Rancho View School Site and the board are the landlords? Or how about Walmart on Beach Boulevard? We also oversee that business and many others like Carl's Jr. and T-Mobile. We bring in over $2.2 million of revenue. I have the know-how. I know what to do. I'll be job ready on day one if you will see fit to elect me. Also, we know that we need good labor, skilled labor, and that's why I'm proud to announce that I've been endorsed by the Huntington Beach Firefighters Association, and I support key labor in our city. And as a person who runs a commercial real estate business, I have the know-how. Thank you.
Thank you, Gina. Next is Pat.
I believe that we just need to be business friendly, and part of that is having our elected city attorney exercise our charter and fight state overreach in all directions. I believe we got to deal with crime. We used to be one of the safest cities in the state. We got to bring that back and market that to bring the tourism and businesses here to feel comfortable and safe. I believe that we have to listen to owners and streamline any kind of processes. I don't like what I see out of this council. We don't belong in the power company. We don't belong in a homeless hotel. We don't belong in competing with being landlords on buildings. We got to get to the basics, fight for our basics, and exercise our charter. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Brian?
So yeah, I think the main thing is I've spoken to business owners and individuals, anyone you speak to, public safety is the top issue for everyone. Our police department is in many ways understaffed, underappreciated, and undervalued. As your council member, I'll make sure that our city council fights to keep us safe, and the best way to do that is to support our men in blue. You know, we're well below our pre-recession staffing numbers. When I remember I walked through Pacific City downtown with a few officers, and they told me what their plan would be to address homelessness. But you don't have that conversation in City Hall. We don't have officers actively involved in that process. There's no presentation really actively on how we're going to approach this issue, not only in one year, but going forward. And we have to keep our families safe. People need to feel like they can go downtown and have a bite to eat and you know, stay out late if they want to, but also take their kids out. That has to be the atmosphere that people have to feel comfortable and safe doing, and that's what will happen when I'm your councilman.
Thank you, Brian. And Bobby?
Thank you to everyone that's here tonight, and thank you to everybody that's watching on Zoom. I appreciate that. You're involved citizens. We're all interviewing for a job right now, and you're the hiring officials. So I appreciate you guys being out here. This is a nonpartisan race in a very politically divided city, and I want to point out that there has been collusion tonight and a lot of good ideas. As far as business insight, I think the formula is pretty easy. If we have a strong, vibrant economy and we're supporting our businesses, that means more money generated for the city to provide essential services, just like what Brian was talking about, and Tony talked about, and Gracie has talked about, and everybody else up on this panel. Public safety is number one. And then taking care of our parks and all our other awesome things that we have in the city. So again, thank you so much for being out here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby. All right, now remember that last question was any key business insights you'll carry with you to City Council. So I don't know about you, but I feel very, very inspired because we have these citizens here. Oh, thanks, Liam. You can come on down. Thank you. I'll take that. How impressed I am with all of you coming here, showing the passion that you have for your Huntington Beach. We are the best city in the world. I think we're all biased, but that's okay because we want the best of our community. And you have all these passionate candidates here that really, truly care. Thank you for taking the time today to speak to all of us with your time, and you guys are all very busy. I get the emails, I get all those things, I know. But I want to thank you guys for all being here. Now, I'm so inspired, and we've got time, and if you guys are up for it, I want to do a closing statement. I know I looked at my team, they're like, wait, hold on. We're going to do a closing statement. I'm going to have Bruce come on up and tell us, while they were giving them some time, Bruce, because we're being impromptu, why don't you tell us about some events that are coming up for the Chamber?
As you may or may not know, the Chamber has AM Connects every third Thursday of the month to talk about topical issues that deal with business and business only. And you can always find out what we're doing on our website. We have an After 8 mixer coming up on Wednesday, September 28th, from 5 to 7 in the evening at Fritz and Cotter Deli. We also have our Best of HB, which we're in the middle of right now, and you all have, or if you don't, you can get one on the way out, a little program that lists all the candidates, and on the back there's a QR code. If you scan the QR code, it'll take you straight to the website. The Best of HB is two processes. First one is nominations. So nominations are open until October the 3rd. Take some time, go online, see who you think that you would like to nominate for each of the various categories. And then after October 3rd, we will be announcing the finalists, and you will have an opportunity then to vote. The voting will go probably till early December, and then the Best of Huntington Beach event will be in the new year. So I encourage you to do that. I encourage you, if you want, to learn more about the Chamber and how it can help you in any business that you've got. And I look forward to hearing from you, and I do appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce. How are we doing, guys? We doing good? Awesome. All right, I want to give you a couple more seconds. Super important. We're all here today, and everyone watching and listening at home, wherever you are, Huntington Beach only gets better when we come together as a community. That's that 1HB initiative. I see Lynn Cemented there. So that 1HB initiative that we have, that's super important. Let's keep that alive. All these candidates here, although they may have different opinions, different ideas, they're all here today because they care about Huntington Beach and they want you to join them. So please, take the time. All you youngsters out there at home, take the time you can see there's some people here that are also maybe of your age. They're taking the time to show their dedication to their city to make things better. Because you can talk all you want, but these people all here are courageous enough to tell you what they're trying to do. You ready now? Couple of writers, all right, cool. Thank you, Bobby. Yeah. All right, Bobby, why don't we start with you? Is that all right with you guys in the end?
I like how he said he's going to give us some time to prepare. We're all politicians. We could talk for 3 hours straight without taking a breath, so there's no problem there. I feel like I've talked enough about what we should do in this city. I really, really want to hear from the residents. I have a really simple website, www.bobbybritton.com. Just go there, hit me up, call me, email me, and I'm more than happy to come meet you wherever you want so we can talk about this stuff. And I'm doing that all the time. So again, thank you. I appreciate everybody being here.
Thank you, Bobby. Brian?
Yes, thank you for having me, and thank you for everyone who showed up. I love our city. I first came here in 2007. I wasn't under the best of circumstances, but what I realized is that I really love Huntington Beach. I wanted to be a homeowner here, and that was one of my biggest dreams in life, that and attending USC, where I was able to also work. And then I wanted to be a business owner. My grandfather in a small town in Michigan had a business, auto industry, and I saw him work so tirelessly, and I had my little desk in his basement with a little plastic desk, and I wanted to be a business owner, and I've been able to do that. And I want to take, a little bit of time and talk about what I want to do for our city. I want to help make our city as prosperous as possible. I want to bring us together. Not everybody's going to support me. I know some people here probably don't even support me. They're not my biggest fans, and that's all right, because when I'm on your city council, if God is fortunate enough to give me that opportunity, and if you all are fortunate enough to vote me in, I will fight for everyone, even those that don't agree with me all the time, and even those that don't love me. So, vote Republican Brian Burley for city council. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Pat?
I was a policeman for 30 years in Long Beach, and people always say, oh, thank you for your service. I'll tell you, I got paid every 2 weeks. I got more adventure and life experience than most in 5 lifetimes. I love my job. It was a privilege. But I'll tell you, I've always had a special place in my heart for business owners. They give their heart and soul to their community. They give they're on duty 24/7. They give everything, and they have everything at risk. I've always had such an amazing respect for those people who take the initiative to own their own business. The city should make it as easy as possible for them to run their business as a free market, entrepreneurship. We need to make it a better environment. I really believe that. I love this city. I care for its future. Please, please vote for me, Casey, Gracie, and Tony, so we can straighten this city up.
Thank you, Pat. Gina?
Well, first I want to thank the Chamber for having us here this evening. It's an honor to be here. Thank you for the opportunity. As the president of OVSD, it's been my honor to serve the Huntington Beach community for 10 years. I'm a mom of 2 boys, 10 and 17, one attending Hopeview and the other Huntington Beach High School. And yes, tonight is back to school night, so I'm going to be headed out as soon as I leave here. I'm a 25-year public school teacher, and I'm a 31-year resident of Huntington Beach, a homeowner, and I operate a small business serving as the vice president of a literal mom and pop shop, because I literally work with my own mom, who is a Huntington Harbor resident. I believe in Huntington Beach, and I'll work for all residents to make this city the cleanest, the greenest, the safest, and the most welcoming for all families and, of course, businesses. Thank you so much, and I ask for your vote. Please visit my website at ginaclaytontarvin.com. Good night.
Thank you, Gina. David?
Yeah, first off, thank you to the Chamber for hosting this great event, and secondly, thank you to all you in the audience. I mean, you guys and your interest in the city. You guys are the voters, and you deserve to hear what each of us think. That being said, to my fellow business owners, I'm also a business owner. I understand the issues and challenges that you guys go through day to day. I'll work with you. I'll listen, and I'll do what I can to help you guys succeed. Also, I'm not a politician. I'm a business owner. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I'm a homeowner and a 3rd-generation Huntington Beach resident. And I'll do what I can to serve the city as best as I can. I genuinely have an interest in serving. I'll support our police. I'll oppose the OCPA boondoggle. And I will work with small businesses to make sure you guys have prosperous lives. Thank you for your time, and vote Clifford.
Thank you, David. Vera?
Yes, thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for hosting this wonderful forum. It's quite an honor to be here tonight. And thank you all for being here. Really appreciate it. I believe that my financial, analytical, and collaborative teaming background gives me the experience necessary to work with our city council members and the experts to find viable solutions to the challenging problems that we need to resolve in the city. And I believe in leveraging best practices and lessons learned from other cities in order to find the most ideal solutions for our city. I believe in fiscal responsibility and transparency, and I support local businesses, and I want to ensure the economic sustainability of our beloved Huntington Beach. Keeping our city safe, clean, and well-maintained are my top priorities, which will bring in visitors and generate more business and increase the economic vitality of our city. I'm willing to listen, and I want to explore and understand all perspectives so we can collectively make the best decisions for our community and our people. I care deeply about our city, and I'm number 18 on the ballot, and I appreciate your support. God bless.
Thank you, Vera.
For Mr. Amory Hanson, a historic choice, number 16 on the ballot.
Well said. Jill?
First, thank you to the Chamber for having us tonight. Recently, I was asked what my favorite part of being a council member was, and it was making connections between the city, different businesses, the students I teach, and having that knowledge on how to make those connections. And that's what I'm reminded of a lot with our answers tonight. My family has been here since 1926. This is my hometown. I love it deeply, and I'm raising my children here and hope they stay as well. As a member of the City Council, I was considered to be one who listens to the concerns of the people of Huntington Beach and works to preserve the character and culture of Huntington Beach as it evolves. I know this community and I have the knowledge and experience to lead it. I hope you will go to my website, jillhardy.com, to give me your input and so I can listen more, and I hope I can count on your vote this November. Thank you so much. I'm Jill Hardy.
Thank you, Jill. Kenneth?
Like everyone else here, I want to thank the Chamber for hosting this event today. As a small business owner who had to worry about meeting payroll, and as a CPA that literally had hundreds of clients that had to do business on a day-to-day basis, one of the big takeaways that I took away from today is the problem of permitting in this city. Now, I want to tell you, as I make this evaluation, if the permitting process in Huntington Beach is harder because we make things safer, I guess I'm okay with it. If our permitting process is not as good because we have people that are inefficient, that's something we can do about. I'm going to be here to serve all the people in Huntington Beach, but I'm going to do so based upon the facts. I'm going to do my own research and bring all the stakeholders together so we come up to solutions that make sense for everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kenneth. Casey?
As a third-generation HB resident and proud father to newborn Liam, who is now my fourth-generation HB resident, my family's been involved in this community obviously for a long time, and I care so much for its future, and I'm saddened and upset at what's happened to it. And I've realized that most people get enamored with national politics. You don't realize that your vote locally for your elected government affects your life way more than your national government. And all the issues that we're talking about tonight are not partisan. And you guys have a very tough job. There's 18 of us running for city council. So you guys need to use discernment to find the right candidates. Find the candidates that are invested in our community, that are working hard every single day, that are on commissions, that don't just show up during election time every 2 years. Vet us. We all have our websites. We're easy to find. But it's so critical. We have a really rare opportunity to take back the majority of our city council. That's why I went with Gracie Vandermark, Tony Strickland, and Pat Burns, because I believe we have the solutions and the experience to make it happen. My name is Casey McKeon, and I'm running for city council, and would be honored to have your vote. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Casey. Billy?
Yes, I would like to thank the Huntington Beach Chamber for putting this on. My name is Billy O'Connell. I'm number 11 on the ballot, and I am not a politician. I have lived in Huntington Beach for over 29 years. I've been a homeowner. Some people think, talk, and tell. I have done it, I am doing it, and I will continue to do it. I've created businesses in our community, started a non-profit where we take homeless women and children off the streets. I am doing it every day. As a former city councilman and a former Housing and Community Development Commission Orange County Commissioner, I know what it takes to make things happen. I'm a team player. And I want to thank the senior citizens in our community who have helped build a great, great community. And for all the business folks and owners in our city, I want to say thank you, because you're the ones that drive the economic engine in our community. You're the ones that create the revenue for us to be able to provide the services that we need. And once again, my name is Billy O'Connell. Nobody owns Billy. I will fight for you and not the special interests. And I will not be beaten down by anybody in our community. I will stand up and fight for you. Thank you very much. And I appreciate your support.
Thank you, Billy. Oscar?
Yes, so just like the other candidates, I'd like to thank the Chamber of Commerce for hosting this event and the audience for being here tonight. My name is Oscar Rodriguez again, run number 5 on the ballot. I'm very passionate about the city of Huntington Beach. My parents came to this country as immigrants with nothing on their back, and today they are successful. Huntington Beach has provided that infrastructure for our family, and I want to make sure that infrastructure continues for future young entrepreneurs and population in Huntington Beach. I am proud supporter of our police, fire, and marine safety. At the end of the day, it all comes down to revenues and expenses when it comes to our local small businesses, and I'm very well in favor of local entrepreneurship for our young and our youth here in our city. The success of our businesses is definitely something that we should take into consideration at every level, and I'm here to be that voice, and I hope that you will vote number 5, Oscar Rodriguez. Visit my website, oscar4hb.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Oscar. Gabrielle?
I would like to thank everyone again for having us tonight and everyone for coming here tonight. To wrap up what kind of she reminded us what tonight was about was diversification of our businesses in Huntington Beach. And I think what we learned is by supporting our businesses and making our city more business friendly, that we will see that diversification and we will see a better economy in our city. I also want to appreciate the fact that she brought up the younger folks that are watching or that are attending, because that's one of the biggest reasons that I was inspired to become more involved in the last couple of years and eventually run. I want to be that inspiration for people that are my age, younger, or around my age, that it's never too early to get involved, and it's more important, because what Casey mentioned is something that I preach for the last 6 years, that you can have a vote for the government as a whole, but when it comes down to your local government, that's what really matters, and that's where you really have a say, and that's why I'm running, because I really want to show that younger generations can have a say too, and they have just as much input. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Gabrielle. Tony?
I want to thank the Chamber for hosting this forum. I've had the honor and privilege to serve in the California State Assembly, the California State Senate, Huntington Beach Finance Commissioner, and I'll use my 12 years of experience to deliver for Huntington Beach Day 1. I'm proud to have the endorsement of the Orange County Republican Party, Orange County Young Republicans, Orange County Business Council, as well as the Huntington Beach firefighters, and 7 past Huntington Beach mayors. I'm running with Pat Burns, Casey McKeon, Gracie Vandermark, and myself. We all have a plan together to solve the homeless problem, make crime illegal again, and cut the red tape and roll out the red carpet for our local businesses. It's an honor to be here. My name's Tony Strickland. I'd be proud to have your vote. I'm lucky number 13 on the ballot. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Gracie?
Well, first, thank you so much for having us, and thank you to everybody here and watching for being engaged. That's the number one thing. We need our community to be more engaged and informed, so thank you. I am a mother and a grandmother, and I would like to make sure that as my grandson moves forward in life, he gets to enjoy this city the way it was 22 years ago when I first moved here. When I first moved here, there weren't fences around schools because it was safe. Now we have fences in every K-8 school because it's no longer safe and we need them. Our businesses don't feel safe because of the homeless issue. Pat, Casey, Tony, and myself do have a plan. We're not just going to complain about the issues. We have created a plan and we want to go ahead and implement that. But we also do need your help and your support. So please vote for our team, and please feel free to reach out to us. Gracie4HB.com is my website, and feel free to reach out. We will always respond to everybody who reaches out. Thank you.
Thank you, Gracie. Mike?
Yeah, thank you. I'd like to thank the Chamber of Commerce for hosting this event, the guests that are here tonight, and the people watching at home. Bitter partisan politics is destroying the city. By law and tradition, the City Council is a nonpartisan council, and there's a reason for that. It promotes the social contract we have between neighbors. And when I'm elected, I will work for you so we have a better city, and we together can build a better city where we're working together to have roads, street lights. We can say hello to each other walking down the street. We can go to a baseball game or a football game on Friday night and get to know each other and say hello, and we can work together. These are the things that are important to a city. I want to get your vote. There's 4 votes. I'd like to be one of them that you have. On my website, it's vogler4citycouncil.com. My name is Mike Vogler. Thank you for this evening.
Thank you, Mike. And I just want to say thank you, candidates, for that curveball that we threw out to you. You guys did a fantastic job. Bobby, you're right. You guys are all set and ready. So wonderful. We're going to do closing remarks, but I just want to remind you, as all your candidates are here, please make your vote count. It matters. Huntington Beach matters. You matter. Thank you. Closing remarks? I'm going to bring back up Lucifer.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Government Affairs Committee of the Chamber who put it together, Barbara and Beth. And I'd like to thank Tina and Adam and Elisa, who aren't here, our staff members who made a lot of this happen. I'd like to thank Matt for videoing, and the video will be available at a later date for you to take a look at. I'd like to thank Sheik for being our moderator. And I'd like to thank our candidates. Without local government, cities don't exist. And so, regardless who you want to vote for, one of the most valuable responsibilities of being a citizen of this country is to exercise your right to vote. So please make sure you get out and vote. Vote for whom you believe will do the best job for keeping this city a wonderful place to live. Ladies and gentlemen and candidates, thank you very much for coming tonight. Drive home safely. And we hope to see you at future chamber events.